What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 132 of the Access to Combat podcast. I'm one half of your host, Hugo the Boss. Hugo got next. Hugo dressed up like the professional today. Jump on my co-host.
It's your boy, Ray Boogie Kahuna. On today's episode 132, we are covering UFC 326, Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira 2. And on the boxing end, it's a little light, but we got some Zuffa boxing headlined by Opetaia versus Glanton. But before we get into any of that, like always, my brother, please tell them what the deal is.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, and TikTok.
For those who enjoy the visual portion of this podcast, like always, you can catch us on YouTube to catch the main cast, and coming soon, catch us on Twitch and Kick to catch us live. But like always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and iHeartRadio, you already know.
First fight on the card at men's flyweight, we have Gaston Bolaños, the dream killer, going one-on-one with the Korean Tiger, Jeong Lee. Bolaños is 8-5 overall. Fighting out of Dublin, California, but repping Peru, 33 years old. Lee, 11-3 overall. Fighting out of South Korea, repping South Korea, 30 years old. We're kicking off UFC 326 with what I'm going to assume is going to be a high-paced fight with two guys who primarily like to strike. Bolaños, who's got more of the kickboxing background. Lee, who's got more of the traditional boxing background, but will mix in kicks as well. While I do think Bolaños is probably the more technical striker, I do think Lee has advantages not only in size, but in reach, and also in the grappling, which he doesn't really go to as often, but I think one takedown probably steals the round for him in this one. Bolaños has, to his credit, improved his takedown defense and recently fought a grappler in Cortavius. But Cortavius might be a little bit
horrible fighter.
I ain't want to say it, but you know. And Lee, not being the most technical grappler, I still think can get it done here. Not with much confidence. I will be leaning Lee here for the win. I'm gonna say by decision.
This is probably going to be one of the biggest bangers on the card, to be frank with you, because there's a guy in Lee, even though he has a distinct, I think, wrestling edge here, he's probably going to prefer to stand here. But if he does get into trouble on the feet, which is why I'm going to lead him as well, he can resort to the wrestling tactics, right? Very good, very sneaky left hook to the body. Very good, very physical in distance and in space and in the inside boxing. But I feel like this fight, I'm with my brother with it going the distance, but I would not be surprised at a finish here simply because this is a fight where I think Bolaños can get stopped with a liver shot or Lee can get caught walking into a spinning back elbow. So
yeah, I don't disagree there.
If the under's at 2.5 and it's a nice number, I don't hate it. I don't hate that look. But this is definitely a fight that's tough to call simply because I'm not completely certain that Lee's going to resort to his wrestling when this is pretty much a 50-50 fight on the feet.
And I'm also not really particularly sold on either fighter. I'm probably going to be rooting for Bolaños biasly, but I mean, both these guys are kind of, for lack of better terms, mid-level
fighters.
Yeah.
100%. And Lee's chin has been cracked. Bolaños has predominantly lost just to grapplers and getting strangled, to be frank. He has been hurt on the feet, but like what finishes him is the groundwork, right? So I'm going to say that this fight probably won't go the distance, but I understand my brother's premise here in terms of it possibly going the distance.
Hey, stand on it, brother.
I'm going to pick violence here. I think the unders, I think fight doesn't go is something to look at here. I'm going to lean Lee just for the simple fact that I think Bolaños is grappling. Once he gets hit his back, it's shit. And I think Lee can control and win minutes there if he needs to and land damage.
Also, cage pushing is probably going to be a big factor in this one as well.
A Lee for the lean here.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have Lockjaw Donte Johnson going one-on-one with Cody Brundage. Johnson, perfect, 7-0. Fighting out of Wisconsin, 27 years old. Brundage, 11-8-1 overall. Fighting out of Inglewood, Colorado, 31 years old. Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen, with another Cody Brundage special. Again, Cody, first round, probably one of the better fighters on the UFC roster. It's just once it gets past that, 7.5 minute mark, or not even past it, just around it. If he hasn't been dominating, he's going to be wiltering, in my opinion. Again, good hammer, not a good nail. Donte Johnson, on the other hand, giga good grappler, giga good wrestler. Now, when you watch the striking, might be a little erratic. He's still green. He's only 7-0. So I do expect Brundage to look good early. And if you like the Brundage side, like always, play the under 1.5, play maybe ITD for him. I'm going to say particularly KO. I don't know if he really gets a sub on Donte Johnson, but If you're asking me who I'm picking, give me Lockjaw to lock him down, maybe break his jaw. I think Johnson, his wrestling is top tier. This is a guy who used to fight at heavyweight. Now comfortably making 185. He's going to have the physicality advantage, in my opinion, here. He might not look good in the striking early, but this is Cody Brundage we're talking about here. Give me Donte Johnson here for the win. ITD, flip a coin. Man, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on the sub and KO.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Cody Brundage coming off of a knockout. He got knocked out January 31st. So
wow, it was that a quick turnaround.
It hasn't even been a month. So I don't even know how he's getting cleared for this fight. And he's going against a stud athlete in Donte Johnson.
Maybe he sees something here. He wasn't the original opponent. Original opponent was Dusko.
I think he's trying to fight out of his contract.
Maybe.
That's just me. At this point, it just looks like he's selling it. It looks like he's just taking fights.
Maybe UFC gave him a bag. Who knows?
Who knows? This is the easiest pick of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Cody's dangerous early, but if you haven't seen Donte Johnson fight, what he lacks in sheer technique, he makes up for in sheer athleticism. This guy's a stud athlete. His last fight, he had kind of spooky cardio against Dumas, and that fight was high pace as hell. He puts that same pace on Cody Brundage. He's going to fall off a bridge within half a round. You want the real? I think the half a round is live here, considering he just got clapped 3 weeks ago.
I'm not as confident on the half round, but I am a little more on the under here. Donte Johnson, if there's one thing about him when you watch him, that guy's determined. He wants to be in there. He wants to hurt people.
He wants to finish.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the half a round on a guy who's damaged goods from 3 weeks ago, not the worst look, particularly if it's a nice line.
That's spicy. So, I like it, brother.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I know it's a little crazy, but that kid has spooky cardio.
Sometimes you got to get a little crazy,
So give me Donte Johnson, definitely for the unders, ITD, round one. Even going to take a look at the under half a round, if there's good value there too.
They would have been packing them up.
Pack up Cody Brundage and give him his walking papers essentially for the UFC, which is what I think he wants, ladies and gentlemen. So he's going to be on Karate Combat next week, getting knocked out by somebody. So I'm just being honest. It seems like he's just trying to get out of his contract. Give me Donte Johnson here to get the finish first round.
Next fight on the card at men's featherweight, we have the debuting Alberto Montes, a.k.a. The Promise, going one-on-one with Ricky Turcios. Montes, 10-1 overall. Fighting out of Miami, Florida, but repping Venezuela, 31 years old. Turcios, 12-5 overall. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, 32 years old. I tell you what. Did some digging onto this Montes guy, like you're supposed to with a guy debuting. I like this guy's stuff. I like the cut of this guy's jib, Montes.
Super necessary.
Excellent counter striker. I think his boxing is solid. His main line of attack is throwing his dynamic kicks. He throws them high, he throws them low, and it's all about that front headlock series that he loves. I never seen somebody jump. They say jump for Gilly. Nah, this guy jumps for anacondas and darces all day, every day, twice on Sunday. I think he runs over Turcios, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I don't think Turcios has got the power to keep him off. I don't think Turcios has got the skill to keep up. And I kind of like Montes here to, maybe lock in one of his more patented submissions, whether it's darce, whether it's anaconda. I think Turcios is going to be going to sleep. Montes is going to keep the promise. Give me the promise for the win. I try to make that sound cool.
That was good. I'm with you here. I think Turcios is going to wrestle into him. He's going to try to put a high pace on him, but this is a guy who knows how to manage distance, exits properly, makes good defensive decisions, can counterpunch, throws dynamic kicks because I don't think he's afraid to be on his back. Even if Turcios gets him down, I think he's going to be able to get up and or get submissions. Very good anaconda / Dar series from the front headlock series. And Turcios does leave his neck out there a lot of times. I seen this guy pretty much snap down somebody in a fight and wrap it up on him. And, to do that to any MMA fighter, even on an amateur level, is impressive.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Turcios is a squirmy son of a bitch. So he might not be able to lock it in maybe the first 1 or 2 times, but I think it's there for the taking.
Yeah, I think he has a better chance when he's dry, but that's one of those chokes. I like high percentage chokes. Like if you're a guy who gets to the back well, it's high percentage. If you get the head and arm choke, which is the anaconda / darce, it's high percentage because it's very difficult for them to get away. And if you can tie up the legs and cradle them into it, it's over. And Turcios makes bad decisions in the scrambles. So I think this is an easy sub. I think Montes finds his neck, tap or nap for Turcios. I suspect he's gonna nap because he is a tough son of a bitch, but this is an easy Montes play here. Give me Montes via submission.
Next fight on the card at men's light heavyweight, we have the debuting Luke Fernandez going one-on-one with Rodolfo Bellato. Fernandez, perfect, 6-0, fighting out of Lansing Township, New Jersey, 30 years old. Bellato, 12-3 and 1 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 30 years old. I'm kind of looking forward to this fight because I haven't looked at the odds yet. I'm going to take a wild guess that they probably are a little wider than they should be. Don't get me wrong. I like Luke Fernandez. You know, I like some of his stuff, man. I think the guy hits very hard. One fight, he had like some short little, I won't even say like a check left or, I mean, completely electrocuted that guy. that guy took a dirt nap. So listen, Fernandez has got power. Fernandez has also got some grappling. Not afraid. I mean, it's not the most technical grappling. It's like, you know, it's big man grappling. You know, I pick you up and I put you down kind of shit. If he's the favorite here, and I don't know yet because I haven't looked, but if he's the favorite here, you know, UFC debut and Bellato on the other side here. You know, the first guy who I've seen with a 1-1-1-1 record to, you know, kick off his UFC, you know, career. Bellato is a tough son of a bitch, man. Yes. And he's better than advertised here. I mean, he's got twice the experience. I think he might have the faster hands here, if I'm being completely honest.
Agreed.
Not no slouch off the ground either.
I think he's better than him off the ground.
If Bellato's a dog, you don't have to tell me yet, but I'm going to assume he's probably the dog. Give me Bellato here for the upset. Not that, you know, Luke is a bum. I do believe in the kid's talent, but this might be, you know, I mean, if you look at the rest of his resume, the most experienced guy he's fighting is Bellato, and it's by a lot. You know, again, it's light heavyweight. So, you know, one punch can turn it around. I'm not saying Fernandez can't sleep Bellato, but I've seen Bellato get clipped numerous times. Give me Bellato here for the win as a dog shot.
Yeah, he's the dog, and I'm with you here. I'm 100% with you. I'm not completely sold on Fernandez. I'm not completely sold on his talent, at least not what it is to this point. Rodolfo Bellato opened up at a plus 200. He's now down to a plus 180. Okay. And I think plus 200 is insane. I think plus 180 is insane. This fight should be closer to a pick'em. That's why I think the value's on him. He is not the sexiest fighter you've ever seen, but he does two things good that I think will help him in this fight. He's very good at getting to the body lock when fighters overextend. He even got to the body lock on Navajo Sterling, who, though green, does not overextend on his punches, but was able to work there. Does work for this for the takedown as well. Good with forward pressure and a granite fucking chin.
On top of the fact that I think he doesn't go to it enough, but he's got a very stiff jab.
Very stiff jab. Yeah. And fast hands, to your point. Like, his hands are faster than Fernandez, in my opinion.
Not to dunk on Fernandez. I mean, I'm a little higher than him on him than you are, but I don't know. This might be, we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah, he might surprise us. I just think it's a lot too soon. And this is a guy who I effectively in Bellato seen sweep Jimmy Crute off of him while he was taking damage. I'm not too high on Jimmy Crute, but I am high on Jimmy Crute in the first round. And he swept him in the first round to get him off of him to end the round. I'm not sure Fernandez is going to be able to grapple him the way Crute did. I know he just grappled Phil Hawes and beat him, but Phil Hawes is not an active MMA fighter, and I'm not even sure how active he is with the sport anymore, to be frank, with jiu-jitsu included. So with that said, it's dog or pass here. I think Bellato is going to be a little too much for Fernandez. The UFC thinks pretty highly of him to stack him, in my opinion, in this fight. There's going to be a lot of cage pushing. Both of these gentlemen like to do it. This fight can be very close on the judges' scorecards if no one scores a decision. It's dog or pass, ladies and gentlemen. That's the only way to play this. And who knows? Maybe Fernandez sparks him. First guy to really put his lights out, because he can crack. But Bellato hits hard too.
Yes.
So 50-50 fight. Give me the dog here. Bellato, obvious system play.
Next fight on the card at men's flyweight, we have Sumudaerji, the Tibetan Eagle, going one-on-one with Jesus Aguilar. Sumudaerji is 18-7 overall, fighting out of Sacramento, California, but repping China, 30 years old. Aguilar, 12-3 overall, fighting out of Baja California, Mexico, but repping Mexico, 29 years old. Now, the face-off between these two guys is probably going to be a little entertaining because Sumudaerji is one of the bigger flyweights. On the other side, Jesus is definitely one of the smaller flyweights.
4-inch reach advantage for Sumudaerji, 9.5-inch reach advantage for Sumudaerji.
So this is gonna be, I like to call this one of the freak show fights, because when you see these guys, I guess nose to nose, or maybe in Jesus's case, nose to belly button. Pause, It's gonna look weird, but I think this fight is gonna be kind of close because Sumudaerji, he is the striker here, probably the better striker. I mean,
I would say so.
I say that a little loose because I do like Jesus Aguilar's boxing a bit, but Jesus, his shit is, I want to get on you, I want to grapple you, and I'm gonna try to guillotine you, however means necessary. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge tells you this fight probably should end.
Correct.
It's either Sumudaerji head kick
or knee up the middle.
Something with his lower, extremities. Pause. Hey. Or Jesus either get into his back, maybe rear naked choke, or maybe locks in his patented gilly. But I also got weird vibes on this fight, so this could be a character building experience when it goes to decision. I'm gonna lean Aguilar. It sounds a little nuts because the guy is definitely gonna be at a physical disadvantage here. Sumudaerji never been knocked out. The majority of his losses have come via sub. And Aguilar, this guy, he's a good hammer. He'll take one to give one. This is a gut feeling. I'm not very confident in this, but give me Aguilar here for the win. I say via sub.
They have Sumudaerji land at -245. It's a little high, but I understand it because I think the physicality and the size are going to give Jesus a ton of problems here. But I think the obvious place for this matchup are unders and fight doesn't go. I think, especially if it's plus money. Prototypical grappler versus striker matchup. One's clearly better than the other on the feet, and one's clearly better than the other on the floor. Wherever this fight stands, the other's going to probably get butchered. And Jesus is aggressive with his back takes. Aggressive. Passes guard aggressively. Does not wait. Lands damage. The only thing that worries me in this fight is the size. And it is difficult to take down guys who are much bigger than you and hold them down because they just have bigger limbs than you, man. They're just bigger human beings, right? So
physicality, you just gotta, it plays into, it plays a factor.
Correct. So for me, I'm going to lean Sumudaerji here. So I'm going to be on the other side from my brother here, but I don't hate the dog shot that he's aiming at here for a lot of the reasons that he mentioned. But if you're asking me, I think Sumudaerji is going to be a little too much. I think he's going to put his body on him and it's going to be a lot of trouble for Jesus, So give me Sumudaerji, but the definite look in this fight, in my opinion, should be the unders, particularly if they're 2.5 and the fight doesn't go. If it's plus money, you smash it, in my opinion. I think this fight shouldn't hit the scorecards. It should not. Someone should get served here.
Next fight on the card, men's light heavyweight. We have the debuting Rafael Tobias, or I think it's Tobias? I don't know how they pronounce it, but I'm going to say Tobias. I apologize. Going one-on-one with Diyar Nurgozhay. Tobias is 14-1 overall. Fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 22 years old. Diyar is 10-2 overall. Fighting out of Kazakhstan, repping Kazakhstan, 28 years old. This is another fight where I'm kind of going a little back and forth on, only because, listen, Diyar looked good in his Contender Series fight, hasn't looked good since. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. It's not because he can't stand up with these guys that he's fighting. I actually think in both his matchups, he had the better hands.
He might have better hands here as well.
I can't disagree there. The issue that I have with Diyar, and if you watch his fights, is that once he hits the ground, the decision-making is just a little
questionable.
It's just a bit questionable. Not that he can't wrestle, because I've seen him go for takedowns. I've seen him take people down, and when he's on top, he's he's okay. But that fight against Ribeiro, where he just got tossed over with the Kimura, and then his last fight where his opponent used the Kimura to set up an Ezekiel choke on him, is I don't know. An
Ezekiel choke in MMA with no gi is just so disrespectful, ladies and gentlemen. That's a gi choke.
And his opponent was just laying on him. And
if it's not Alexio Olenek, you fucked up. That's just what it is. He's super questionable on the floor, man.
Do you see the genius at work? Do you see how I did that?
It's off his back. He's just a little lost. And I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe it's flukish, maybe it's not. I don't know.
But the thing is, in both those situations, he had top position. He had top position against Ribeiro, who is super fucking green, and he just rolled him up and smoked him.
And listen, his opponent in Tobias, I mean, in the stand-up, he's not going to be the more technical guy, but Tobias is going to walk forward. He throws stupid hard.
Heat.
Give him the heater. You know what I'm saying? Like, and on the ground, I mean, again, I guess when you're fighting Diyar, you don't have to be the most technical, but I think he can kind of like, you know, keep up on the ground there as well. So, man, I kind of want to trust Diyar here. I mean, not trust him. I kind of want to take the leap of faith on him here, but because it's, I mean, to lose 3 in a row, I don't know. I mean, this guy is going to have to come out with a game plan. He's going to come out at least a little more determined not to go on a fucking losing streak here. Not my most confident pick. Give me Tobias. Maybe I'm jumping the gun here. I don't know. How do you feel, brother, about this one? This one, hey, ladies and gentlemen, don't take my word. Maybe take my brother's word. Maybe he's got a better read on this than I do.
Nah, I'm with you.
Damn.
I'm completely with you. You know, like you know, literally.
Word for word, bar for bar.
I
Big
mean,
facts.
that's where I'm at with this shit. And I think you're right on the money with this. This is a fight where it's very difficult to trust Diyar. He has the talent, dude. Like, if you watch some of his regional footage, his decision making, his wrestling, it's not fucking bad on the floor. I just don't know what it's been at this UFC level. And it's happened in 2 fights now. So you can't say it's a fluke because it's consistent now. He got Ezekiel choked his last fight, which is fucking hard to do. You have to kind of wind up in a position. The guy has to cross face you and be able to get his other arm around you. Like, you know, around you and put his, like a scissors motion, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching me on the mic here. And that's how you choke him with the Ezekiel choke. Then you put your body weight behind it. It's a fucking hard choke to get if you're not wearing a gi. Then he gets rolled up by Ribeiro, who has not looked good since. And he did not look good before. That's the highlight of Ribeiro's career. Yeah. Gifted athlete, don't get me wrong, but he beat Diyar, who was fucking outclassing him on the feet. And you want the real, I think he's the better striker relative to Tobias, but you want the real considering that he's a donk on the floor and both these boys kind of throw decent heat. I like the unders here too, man.
I was just going to say, I mean, if I liked anything, or I'm at least leaning towards anything, it's probably unders. Maybe fight doesn't go. Yeah, I mean, this shouldn't hit the scorecards, in my opinion.
Correct. And Diyar, you know, he just needs to stay off the floor at this point. I think if he can keep on the feet, he's going to have a chance, but he's also going to be putting himself in the most danger there, too, with this guy. This guy throws fucking hammers, man.
This guy walks forward, man. He's like a juggernaut, man.
Yeah, and he looks the part, too. But, you know, if it does hit the floor,
stupid, I'm not going to let you get the chance.
You know, I think he probably gets rolled up again because he is, in fact, a donk on the floor.
We just got to see it, man.
You know, so, yeah, I'm with it. Unders, violence. That's how I look at this fight. I'll take the dog shot here. Why not? I think it could be a close fight, but that's with like low confidence, like moderate to low confidence. I can't comfortably get behind Diyar at this point. Matter of fact, fuck it, I'm on Tobias. I just talked myself off of it. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, nah, man, you can't trust that guy.
Fuck it, you do it live.
I know what Tobias is gonna do, even though I know Diyar can keep up with him on the feet and he has the wrestling capability to get it to the floor. But at this point, I can't trust Diyar. So Tobias is the lean. Unders and violence is the way to play it.
Next fight on the card at men's bantamweight, we have no love. Cody Garbrandt going one-on-one with Xiao. Garbrandt, 14-7 overall, fighting out of Sacramento, California, 34 years old. Xiao is 27-10 overall, fighting out of Shanghai, China, repping China, 27 years old. I know we like to, you know, in the past, you know, make fun of Cody Garbrandt, you know, no love, aka no chin. Credit to where credit's due. The guy, he's still hanging around in the division, still keeping it competitive. You know, change up his style a little bit so he's not, you know, directly taking direct damage to the face anymore. In this particular fight, in my opinion, is a step down. I'm going to show some love to no love. He's going to have to take this love. Pause. Cody Garbrandt probably wins this fight. I mean, unless you think he's completely washed. And if you want to judge him on his last 2 fights, which I wouldn't, because, you know, the level of competition there was, you know, I mean, it's up there. You know what I'm saying? This, for me, it literally just boils down to this is a step down. Xiao hasn't really looked spectacular in his wins or losses.
At all.
I mean, I guess in his win, but that shit was a swing and bang fest against Quang Bang. I mean, Garbrandt, this guy's got way better footwork. The striking's better.
The speed.
You can't hit what you can't catch, in my opinion.
The speed is going to be evident in this fight, in my opinion, too.
Yeah.
They're the same size, which is crazy. They got them both listed at 5'8", but Garbrandt's way faster than this fucking guy.
Xiao's got to, in my opinion, close the distance, put his body on him, and work him, wear him down. That's his only path here. Maybe even get a takedown, get some top time. Can't see it here with Garbrandt. Garbrandt, I just think even at 34, it still got some gas in the tank. And, you know, again, unless Xiao clips him, this has meme knockout written all over it. I gotta go Garbrandt here for the win.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't hate people who are on long Xiao's side here, but like at plus money, you have to take Garbrandt here. And once again, this is another fight considering how Xiao walks forward and throws, and he throws decently hard. I think this is another under/fight doesn't go spot. Garbrandt historically not the most durable guy, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Xiao's been hit by someone that hits like this motherfucker either. Like I know he fought Quang Bang, but you want the real Bang doesn't have the speed or the feet to like really hit you in spots that you don't see. And I think unders, this is a violent card, ladies and gentlemen. Like I've been saying a lot of unders. You don't hear me call a lot of unders or fight doesn't go, but like I feel like this has the capability of being one of those cards. And I feel like this is one of those fights that adds to the dynamic of this card being executed as such, right? So give me Cody Garbrandt as a dog. I think it's a dog that passed spot considering even if Xiao wanted to wrestle him, I think he might have a harder time than he thinks he's gonna have wrestling him down. And I'm not convinced about Xiao's jiu-jitsu control the same way Figgy could, if that makes sense. He doesn't have the same level of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
so
I'm with you. I feel like, honestly, I think if you like the Garbrandt side, I think it's probably Garbrandt decision. Because I can't see him taking too many risks in fighting Xiao here. If you like the Xiao side,
knockout.
I think it's knockout or maybe like finish, no decision, one of those kind of plays.
Correct. I like that too.
But yeah, that's my general feelings as I was hearing you talk it out.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, my brother's right here. It could go to a decision. I've seen enough of Xiao's tape to believe he's gonna walk into a big shot here.
Okay.
Either he's gonna eat him or he's gonna be eaten. And you know, like Xiao, yeah, he has a decently durable chin, but he hasn't, like I said, he hasn't been hit. This is probably the biggest puncher he's fought. And this is definitely the best level of competition he's fought, even though he's shot a little bit. So give me the unders and violence here, man. And give me Cody Garbrandt for the dog play here. That's where I'm at with this.
Next fight on the card at men's flyweight, we have Cody Durden, a.k.a. Custom Made, going one-on-one with Nyamjargal Tumendemberel.
Yeah.
A.k.a. the Art of Knockout. Durden, 17-9-1 overall. Fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia, 34 years old. Tumendemberel is 9-1 overall. Fighting out of Mongolia, repping Mongolia, 27 years old.
Fucking tongue twister that name.
That name is a fucking mouthful. Jesus, pause.
Who?
Listen, before I even jump into it, this is like the third Cody on this card. Is this the first? No, this is not the first card. There was another card where all three of these guys were on the same card, right? Cody Garbrandt, Cody Durden, Cody Brundage, right? Am I bugging?
Yeah, I think you're right, but
there was one other card. Now, you know,
you want the real? I think it might have been UFC 300 because Garbrandt and Brundage were definitely on it. Brundage was fighting Bo Nickel, Garbrandt was fighting Figgy, but I'm not sure about
was Brundage on that card?
I'm gonna find out. Oh no, Brundage was. I'm talking about Durden.
Oh, Durden.
Durden, I'm not sure. I'm gonna find out right now.
I'm not too sure. I swear all three of these guys were on the same card. But you know, you might want to get a little cute with you know, maybe a Cody parlay. I wouldn't entertain it on this one. Maybe a two-legger with Durden and Garbrandt.
Agreed.
But you know, just leave Brundage off of this one, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, unless hey, it could be a lotto pick. Who knows? I'm not going to, like I said, I don't know, whatever.
Get the fuck out of here.
I do think Cody wins this particular fight, Durden, that I'm speaking about.
I'm with you.
Listen, nothing against Tumendemberel, the Art of Knockout, but I just think Cody's got, you know, better hands here. I think his boxing is crisp, a little underrated if I'm being completely honest. Custom Made's grappling should be enough to control Tumendemberel.
Better wrestler too.
Better wrestler. I'll give a little spoiler because I know my brother's going to allude to it. He did mention, you know, previously while we were doing tape on this, that fight in the sub is probably a decent look on this one.
Yeah.
So I agree. Fight ends in sub is probably a look here. Give me Durden. It is a step down in my opinion. I just think he's got him covered everywhere. Hopefully the IQ doesn't go out the window because that's always the thing. And I'm talking about both gentlemen here because they both kind of fight a little, a little brain off sometimes. So give me Durden here for the win. I think he gets this one done. I say ITD. I say by sub.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not sold on Tumendemberel at all. I think he strikes wide. I don't think his grappling's that great. I think his wrestling's And this is a guy in Cody Durden who I know is going to be there until you put him away. This fight ending in sub is very likely because they both push the wrestling and the grappling. Durden leaves his neck in precarious places. And Tumendemberel is not great on the floor. He's okay. He's just okay. I think Cody's the better wrestler. I think he's the better grappler. I think he's going to be a fucking dog. I could see Tumendemberel blowing his arms out, pause, trying to get this guy in a guillotine because he does jump gilly. And Cody surviving and then Cody just burying him with the wrestling and grappling. Cody ITD is what I'm looking at. He's a dog in this fight. I will be definitely taking a strong look at him as a possible play come fight night. But Tumendemberel, I think this is a lot too soon in my opinion. I don't like this fight for him. I think he's going to be tested not only in terms of his technical skill, but also his grit in this fight. And this is not a guy, and I don't see anything in Tumendemberel's hands that suggests that he's going to knock out Durden the same way Durden got knocked out his last fight.
I mean, I'm not going to rule that one out in particular because, I mean, he is a funky striker. He is. But to go back to a point that you mentioned earlier, Tumendemberel likes to grapple, but tends to kind of like, give a position and, he's maybe a little too comfortable off his back. And against Cody, against a guy who's going to wrestle, I wouldn't recommend it.
It's not suggested.
Yeah.
And then Durden, once again, leaves his neck in all kinds of weird places.
Yeah,
and
you've seen him.
He just walks into guillotines, bro.
Yeah.
I guarantee you he has like a guillotine outside of his house or in a picture frame somewhere in the vicinity of his bedroom. There's no way.
He has pictures of all the times he got gillied and or attempted gillied, just like in a wall of shame in his house somewhere.
Or the Grim Reaper just chilling with the guillotine. It's something because he just seems to always just figure out a way. He could be winning and he just figures out a way to fuck it up. I'm with him on the dog play here, but I'm not, considering his IQ, little shaky. Moderate, I would say moderately confident he's going to win this fight just because of the skills. But give me Cody Durden as the live dog shot here. And you'll see how we play closer to fight time.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have Drew Dober going one-on-one with the menace, Michael Johnson. Dober, 28-15 overall, fighting out of Denver, Colorado, 37 years old. Johnson, 24-19 overall, fight out Boca Raton, Florida, 39 years old. This is an interesting fight because I feel like if this was made maybe even a couple of years, just like 1 or 2 years earlier, I'd probably like the Dober side a little more. And only because, Dober is just, the guy's a fucking hammer. He looks like, the Crimson Chin in the flesh, square head, good looking guy, pause, And the guy's always down for a fucking scrap, and he hits extremely hard. But Michael Johnson, in my opinion here, not only probably the better fighter, I don't think that's really up for debate. I think he's skill for skill, probably the better fighter. Is a little older. The chin is always going to be a question here. I got to lean Johnson here. I think Johnson, even at 39, to me, feels like he's still going to be a step ahead of Dober, who's been slowing down. The chin is not as reliable anymore either. And Johnson, the better grappler here, in my opinion. It's always scary betting on Michael Johnson fights. I mean, the guy's 24-19. He's getting close to the 500 record, but I think he stays above it here. Dober, a little further away from the 500 record. It gets a little closer to the 500 record here. Give me Michael Johnson here for the win. Does this go to distance or is this an ITD? What are you feeling here?
I think he knocks him out.
Okay.
And I think he knocks him out because this is a fight with Drew Dober where I don't think Drew's chin is necessarily holding up. He's going to press forward and put pressure on Michael. Michael is the superior wrestler. He's much more athletic in my opinion. Even though he doesn't look the part, he is the part. And even though they both have questionable chins. So I feel like someone's going to get served here. But if you're asking me, Drew got away with highway murder that last fight against Pepelvik. Pepelek, I think that's his name, my apologies. Where he fouled him. He got it was a blatant foul. And the guy was clearly compromised. He needs 5 whole minutes to kind of recover from it. Drew kind of takes the 5 minutes to recover because he's hurt and fucking tired.
Yep.
And then he just fucking
Yeah,
pounces on him.
like a runaway train.
He did what he was supposed to do, but he played within the rules. And it was, he got booed after the fight because it was kind of fucked up.
I mean, listen, you did low blow the guy. And I mean, he took advantage of the guy recovering at the end of the day. I mean, it seemed dirty. It just seemed dirty. Yeah, and he's not a dirty fighter. Let's not get it twisted. Like Dober is,
he's clean.
Yeah,
he's as clean as he looks.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, it's just that it was just very convenient for him. That's all I'm gonna say. And he was getting worked in that fight. And Pepelek, maybe I'm a little salty because I think Pepelek. If I'm sorry for mispronouncing
I think it's Pepelek. Yeah,
Pepelek. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. I think he was like a plus 400 dog. And I'm like, dude,
yeah, we took that shot. I remember.
He was fucking beating the shit out of him. And, he was winning the fight until he got fouled. He was still hurt. And Drew just jumped on him like a wounded gazelle of the wild. And he was a tiger, like a lion, a mountain lion just hunting gazelles.
With a taste for blood.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was a bad look. But it's just I haven't liked how he's looked his last couple of fights in general. And that was like the icing on the cake for me because if that foul doesn't happen, I think he gets knocked the fuck out. Give me Michael Johnson here, who just got over Zellhuber, if I'm correct, who I still have high hopes for, even though Zellhuber seems to have lost a piece of himself in his last fight against the Argentinian bad boy. But give me Michael Johnson to figure this out and knock him out.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have Hobocop Gregory Rodrigues going one-on-one with the Hulk, Bruno Ferreira. Rodrigues is 18-6 overall, fighting out of Deerfield Beach, Florida, but repping Brazil, 34 years old. Bruno, 15-2 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 33 years old. Now, I paused when I seen this fight because I was like, man, didn't these guys fight before? And of course, I don't trust my goldfish memory brain, so I went to my brother and he was like, yeah, of course they did. And I was like, oh, that's right. And then I remembered. The Hulk laid out RoboCop, and I was like, damn.
Gregory was getting downhill on him, and he got caught with a good counter and got fucking flatlined. To his credit, he was in a war previous to that fight too, so he's always in wars. But
it's just one of those, you know how RoboCop operates. It's one of those things where the guy, he's got all the skill in the world. The guy's a tremendous fighter. Looks like Brazilian Barack Obama.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's, his only weakness is literally the chin. Like, if you catch him clean, he turns into spaghetti. Does this fight look any different? I mean, I don't know. Bruno's striking, I think, is a little underrated in my opinion. I don't think he gets enough credit for the amount of times that he, switches stances. I guess I'll lean Bruno here, but again, things I like even more than the money line here. The unders. That doesn't go. I also kind of got a feeling this fight might be maybe a little more grappling intensive for some reason. I don't know. Both of you guys can grapple their asses off as well. I think same result. I think there is a finish here. And, as much as I don't like, rooting against RoboCop, because I'm a big Gregory fan. I might be rooting for him selfishly, but I got to keep this unbiased. I think Bruno probably gets this one done again. I'll say sub this time, but, hey, you play it either way.
Yeah, I'm on the other side here, and I can't get behind betting Gregory at minus 215. I think that's insane considering he lost the first fight, and he's taking this technically on short notice, if I'm correct. But what I will say is that Bruno, though his performances as of late have looked very impressive, I think Gregory has looked even more impressive in his wins and losses. Went to war with Cannonier, got served in the fourth round. No shame in that. Cannonier is still a top 5 fighter in the division. Then goes on to comfortably stop Jax Hermanson and did it very patiently in a round that he was getting outstruck. Not cleanly outstruck, like he's making better decisions. Then goes on and beats the dog shit out of Kopylov across the 3-round decision and does it convincingly against a guy who I think has the fastest hands in the division and knows how to manage distance better than most people in the division. Very dangerous striker. Bruno is going to push the wrestling if he needs to. I think Gregory is more likely to push the wrestling, and I think they're both equally skilled. And if you're asking me, I think Gregory's the better grappler here. I don't believe rematches look the same. I just can't get behind this minus 215 line because I think when you get knocked out the way he did, and his chin is that suspect, that it can definitely happen again. Unders violence is the way to look at this fight if I'm dealing it, or dog or pass, because on the feet, it's going to be close. But I do think that Gregory will have a distinct advantage if he gets on top of this guy. I really believe that. I think people don't understand how good of a grappler Gregory Rodrigues is. Though Bruno Ferreira is an underrated grappler and underrated from bottom particularly, I suspect Gregory Rodrigues will have enough defensive submission grappling to mitigate a lot of what he wants to do with his offensive wrestling and land damage at will and or get his back and sub Ferreira himself. So give me Gregory Rodrigues to figure this out and to get his leg back in this fight. I'll say ITD because that's the only way Ferreira's lost. He's got only one fight that got to decision, and that was him in a win. And I don't think he's going to put up more volume than Gregory in this fight either. I think Gregory's going to have him outranged and outpaced in this fight as well. So give me Gregory Rodrigues to get his leg back here, ladies and gentlemen.
Next fight on the card, at men's bantamweight, we have Rob Font going one-on-one with Raul Rosas Jr. Font, 22-9 overall, fighting out of Boston, Massachusetts, 38 years old. El Niño Problema is 11-1 overall, fighting out of Santa Rosa, California, 21 years old. I'm a little 50-50 on this fight because, you know, when I look at the statistics, when I look at the age gap, when I look at the size, I mean, you know, and then conventionally, you know, when it's a striker versus a grappler, you have to lean the grappler. Everything's telling me Raul should win this fight, you know, should be able to control Rob, get him down, hug him, maybe just steal some rounds. I don't know if he subs Rob personally. So if you like the Raul Rosas side, it's probably by decision. Maybe you take the long shot on the sub if you're feeling froggy. But for some reason, I mean, Rob Font, even though he's 38 years old, some people might say he's 38 years young. The better striker here, in my opinion. Some of the biggest hands in bantamweight. Very hard to take down himself. His takedown defense is pretty solid. He's also got jiu-jitsu that he never really, you know, displays, but you'll see flashes of it when he has to go to it. Man, I kind of want to say Rob Font is a bit live in this fight. I don't know what the odds are. I'm going to assume Raul is probably the slight favorite, but I'm thinking I'm liking me a little bit of Rob here. Unless Rob is completely washed and, you know, maybe looks a step slower in there. I mean, Raul, you know, he's going to have the physicality. He might even hit underratedly hard too. I don't know how much his striking has improved, but Rob Font's the better striker. Rob Font's a dog. Give me Rob Font here. I don't know how you're feeling about this one. And you know, it's gonna be sad. Maybe I'm picking with a little bias here. I'll admit that one, but that's just the read I'm getting. I don't know.
The only bias you got here is that you're picking the Puerto Rican over the Mexican. And, you know, we're biased on this podcast because we're boarding it up, you know, but...
Hey, listen, I mean, I love my Mexicanos too, but you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, but if you're asking me to pick between the two...
Hey, yeah, come on, man.
I got to hold it down for La Raza, you feel me?
Come on.
You know, so I'm with you here. I think this is a lot too soon for Raul, if I'm being honest. And they're trying to feed Rob here, but I think this might be a misread by UFC matchmaking.
Who knows? I mean, listen... It has been a misread before. I mean, they've given Rob Font to the people like Matsumoto, to Kyler Phillips. It really hasn't worked out. Adrian Yanez.
Yeah.
Hasn't worked out so far for these guys who they're trying to put over, trying to take the next step. I mean, it did work out for David Martinez, but... Yeah,
but I'll get into that in a second. And here's where I'm going to get into it with you guys. Raul Rosas' last 4 fights. Terrence Mitchell, Alaska FC, terrible promotion.
And enough said.
Turcios, dumb. Like, really dumb. Yeah. Gonna give him the game that he wants. Orichile, can't grapple. Vince Morales, is he even in the UFC anymore?
Then Morales, I mean, that fight went to decision, right?
Yeah.
Morales, he kind of gave him some work in that one, too.
I'm not trying to sit here. Yeah, I'm not trying to say Vince is a bad fighter.
Yeah.
He's just not Rob Font. And that's where we're at here.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Rob Font's losses. Let's just talk his losses. We're not going to talk his wins because he has so many. David Martinez, good striker, good feet, knows how to angle decent takedown defense. Davison Figueiredo, world champion. Corey Sandhagen, title contender, big for the weight class, knows how to grapple. Marlon Vera, he was winning every minute of every round until he got clipped in 3 or 4 of those rounds.
You know how the Marlon Vera fights go. You know, Marlon Vera, low volume, but when he touches and he connects,
it's dangerous.
It's big power.
Yeah, so you're telling me he's going against a guy in Raul Rosas who I don't think is going to have the physicality edge here, doesn't have the experience edge like Corey Sandhagen, doesn't have the punching or swiftness on his feet like Martinez or Marlon Vera or even Jose Aldo's the other guy he lost to, legend. This is a clear dog or pass spot for me on Rob Font, man. And it's not because he's Puerto Rican and we're Boricua. It's none of that shit. It's simply because the level of competition edge is on his side. He has lost to world champion type caliber fighters or guys who are entering the top 10 currently. And he's literally beating up guys that they've been trying to serve up. The Yanezes of the world. The other gentleman the Matsumoto. He got served up.
I like Matsumoto.
Yeah, Matsumoto took that fight on short notice too, to his defense. And Rob did sucker punch him. I'll put that out there too. That was some bullshit.
Hey, listen, you got to do everything you got to do to win, man.
Correct. I thought Matsumoto was going to beat him. But Raul Rosas hasn't shown me anything at this level. He has improved, just not to this level.
I mean, who knows? Maybe he comes in looking like fucking Marvin Hagler and shit. You know what I'm saying?
He is young enough where the jumps between camps can be that monumental. I'm just not going to go there. His bread and butter is the wrestling and the grappling. I have a hard time believing he's going to be able to get to Rob's back, let alone get him on the floor, particularly when Corey had a hard time establishing position on him. And Raul Rosas is not Corey Sandhagen. So for me, easy dog or pass spot. Give me Rob Font to hold it down for Puerto Rico, particularly sitting at a plus 170 line, which I think is insane. Give me Rob Font here as a system play, ladies and gentlemen.
Next fight on the card, and it's currently constituted the co-main event of the evening. At men's middleweight, we have the natural Caio Borralho going one-on-one with RDR. Not Red Dead Redemption, but Reinier the Ritter. Borralho is 17-2 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 33 years old. The Ritter, 21-3 overall, fighting out of the Netherlands, repping the Netherlands, 35 years old. This is an interesting particular matchup here, and man, this can play out. This can play out pretty interesting in my opinion. Both these gentlemen are coming off of a loss. Both these gentlemen prefer the grappling. Both these gentlemen are, have a bit of hype behind them, until their last losses. It may cool down a bit, but it's interesting because I know my brother thinks that Mr. Borralho is a bit on the overrated side.
Agreed.
And I remember watching the Ritter thinking that when he first came in was a bit overrated. He did shut my mouth up, pause. And, but his last loss definitely, left a sour taste in my mouth. So I'm not really particularly high on Mr. RDR either. But that being said, I think I'm probably still going to lean RDR here for the win. Nothing against Borralho. I think the guy is uber talented, the leader of the fighting nerds, self-proclaimed, or, maybe people anointed. I don't know. But in my opinion, like Borralho's fights, like he kind of just, I don't know if fighting down to the competition is probably the right term of phrase, or
I feel like he doesn't have alternative game plans if his initial game plans are not working. And I agree with you. Like he should have stopped a lot of the guys that he was fighting on the way up. Didn't stop them, went to a decision, stopped, I think, like Brundage, if I'm correct. I'm gonna double check that really quick while you continue.
Yeah, I don't know. Borralho's like he's a head scratcher because I feel like the volume is never enough. Like it's just enough, but it's never enough. And then the grappling, when in matchups where I think he has the clear grappling edge, is never enough either. Sometimes he'll just stand with the guy.
But he got exposed on his wrestling his last fight. And the guy he did stop was Paul Craig, but Paul Craig was beyond shot by the time they fought.
And I do think his jiu-jitsu is legit, but it's like, and it's his biggest strength, but he just doesn't go to it enough. And even his hands, a bit underrated, but the inconsistent, just like, I don't even want to say low volume, kind of just like, it's always like middling volume. It's almost like he doesn't, I guess, I don't know, pull the trigger enough, Like, he's got the talent. The Ritter, on the other hand, huge, big, awkward man.
Huge for the weight class.
Probably not the better technical striker here, but, his striking is awkward and effective enough where I think he could land some damage here.
Good in the clinch, too.
Very good in the clinch because, again, I mean, the guy's built like a fucking moose. Will probably put some damage in the clinch. And on the grappling, maybe a little too back happy. Another one of these guys who likes to, maybe he's a little too comfortable on the back, but his jiu-jitsu's up there, So in a close fight, I got to kind of go with the guy who I think is going to maybe go for it a little more, And that's RDR in my opinion. I think he's going to go for it more. And I mean, Borralho, this is his put up or shut up because a lot of people, including myself, are kind of like not completely off the bandwagon, but like we need to see something here.
That Imavov fight showed a lot of people a lot, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't recall if we faded him in that podcast. I think we did.
I think we were on Imavov. I mean, I could be completely wrong. Maybe that's just hindsight talking. Don't let us know in the comment section. I'm not afraid to be called a dumbass. You could tell me that.
Yeah, we're usually pretty spot on when we give that, and we're honest when we can't remember the podcast. 'Cause I can't remember that talk. Brahalio's a little overrated, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If this is a grappling heavy fight, you gotta go with the guy who I think is to be honest, they're probably equally skilled. The bigger guy usually wins the equally skilled contest in grappling exchanges. And you're telling me that Brahalio couldn't wrestle down Imavov? Do you trust his chances to wrestle down RDR unless RDR allows it? Brahalio doesn't go to the wrestling as much as you like him to anyway.
Considering this is a 3-round fight,
I like it even more for RDR.
Yeah, because of a 5-round fight, I mean, hey, listen, all the shit I was talking about Xiao, the guy still got cardio. That guy can go.
Correct. But you're telling me you give me RDR 3 rounds and he's a plus 220 dog?
Yeah, maybe we're bugging. You can let us know. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, listen.
We've been called out before.
Yeah, listen. And for all you boys, that called out this podcast for taking Jordan Levitt over Yadier, haha. Don't,
Monkey King.
Kawhi Leonard laugh. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. You guys, everyone thought we were crazy in the comments. And then look what happened.
Hey, listen, shout out. I'm not, hey, listen, you guys got your own opinion. That was just what I saw.
Correct. Yeah. Listen, you're entitled to your opinion, but trust me, when we give you takes, it's because we watched the tape and we are genuinely like using our eyes. I'm with you here. And I've been calling Kyle a fraud for a while now.
You've been on it.
For a while.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel confident that I faded him against Imavov. Once again, fact check me if I'm lying. But regardless, I do feel that this is another put up or shut up fight for Kyle. We're going to really see what he is in this fight. I have a feeling it might not go the distance, but it's a fight that it's a dog or pass in my opinion, because we're not really sure which direction this fight could go. They could just lay on each other for 15 minutes and nothing could happen. Because Kyle, despite training with Damian Maia for all these years, is not a prolific finisher even when he's on top of you. I'm just calling it what it is. And he had a hard time getting down Imavov. He didn't get down Imavov. Imavov used his feet. This is a guy in RDR, doesn't have the same footwork, but his size, his pressure, his clinch work, his awkward striking from the outside. He's very lanky. This guy's fought as heavy as heavyweight, and this is a middleweight fight. He's a big dude, man, and he can withstand a shot, and Kyle is not the biggest puncher or kicker. Let's just call it what it is. So Kyle could also lose position here, too, in this fight. RDR could see him getting around his waist and tossing him down, too, against the cage. So give me RDR here, man, at plus 220, man. I think that line is insane. And I think if it stays that way or gets a little higher come fight night, it's definitely another system play come fight night. Follow us on all social media platforms as usual, but RDR for the lean here.
Next fight on the card, and it's currently constituted the main event of the evening for the UFC BMF title. We have at lightweight, Max Blessed Holloway going one-on-one with Bronx, Charles Oliveira. Max is 27-8 overall. The champion is fighting out of Hawaii, 34 years old. Oliveira is 36-11 overall. The challenger is fighting out of Brazil and hailing from Brazil, 36 years old. The BMF belt is still a thing. Whether you like it or not, it's however you feel about it. I'm not, I don't hate it. I don't really necessarily like it. It's a novelty belt. It's whatever. It's cool. It's cute. It's whatever, right? That being said, just getting all that out of the way. Max Blessed Holloway here. I mean, this is not the first time. This is the second time these guys face off. The last time, I think, was probably over 10 years ago. It feels that way. One was 23 years old. The other was 25 years old. And, that fight lasted all about 1 minute and change. Oliveira ended up throwing his shoulder out. I don't remember the exact injury. I don't know if it was collarbone related or dislocated shoulder related. Whatever. I got a foggy memory. The fight was a nothing burger. You can't really extrapolate anything from that fight. And even if you did, again, over 10 fucking years ago, these guys are two completely different fighters. And that being said, I'm going to be leaning Max Blessed Holloway for the win. And I say that because I think Oliveira is, again, an improved striker, but doesn't have the striking advantage in my opinion here. Holloway's just got the better footwork, the better combinations. He puts it together.
Max is also making a lot of better defensive decisions these days as well.
Completely agree. Oliveira, I mean, again, not saying that Oliveira can't crack. And Max's chin, I think it still holds up. I mean, Topuria, it didn't. Topuria is a one-of-a-kind talent.
He was also depleting his body to get to 145 in that fight.
This is also a weight class up. You're right.
And for the Topuria dick riders out there, I'm very much on the bandwagon with you, but he was losing that fight until he caught him. So, you know, that goes to show you how good Max is.
I just think Oliveira is going to have trouble, you know, establishing his jiu-jitsu. And that's his bread and butter. You know, Oliveira on the ground, lights out. I think he holds... I don't know what the record is. My brain, again,
most finishes, if I'm correct.
Definitely the most finishes. Does he have does he hold the most sub finishes?
He's probably there too. It's like him and Jim Miller, if I'm correct.
He's up there. I don't see this fight taking place on the ground too much, and if it is, it won't be there too often. Max is, you know, hard to take down, and when he's taken down, quick to get up.
Also, not bad with the submissions, but I don't think he's going to play at that game with him. You know, like he has a good front headlock series too, but I don't think he's going to play that game with Charles.
I think with all the sheer talent between these two gentlemen, I have a tough time kind of getting to the fact that this fight might go to distance. It's a 5-round fight.
I doubt it. If that under's 4.5, you take it.
Oliveira, I mean, can he lock up a submission here?
Sure.
I mean, he can also get a KO. I'm not going to rule that out either. Max, again, the chin could be wavering. The guy is a little on the older side now.
Agreed. And I will say, too, Max has become a little more heavy-handed in this weight class, too. You've seen the damage he put on Gaethje, and then even with the finishing blow, like that punch at featherweight is not putting anybody down. At lightweight, he looks like he hits much harder. I mean, he was always big for featherweight, so him moving up to lightweight was natural, and now he's taking the time to really build his body for this weight class. And remember, too, like I said, when he went on to fight Topuria, it was after moving up to 55. So he had to cut lean muscle mass to fight Topuria again at 45, then to get knocked out, then to move back up to 55, and then to stop Gaethje. So for me, this fight, if it's 4.5, ladies and gentlemen, even 3.5, I think is juicy for an under. Because, and I'd leave it more on the Charles side, just because his style incites violence and it's kill or be killed. I mean, I don't remember the last time outside the Arman Sarukian fight that Charles has been to a decision. I'm a little concerned about his chin still taking this fight 8 months after getting knocked out by Topuria. I was worried for his last fight, but then I found out he was fighting Mateusz Gamrot, who I've consistently said is a fraud on this podcast, and who I consistently said has fucking pillow hands and was not going to be able to hurt Charles, and Charles fucking steamrolled him as I expected.
The chin was not in danger in that one.
Yeah, I told everyone he's gonna fuck him up. And
listen, you were on that one because I was kind of leaning Mateusz. I was giving Mateusz maybe a little too much credit, but you were spot on. I give you credit for that.
I mean, you had a whole bunch of crybabies that thought he won the Dan Hooker fight. And if you watch that fight, I don't know how you scored for him. And Dan is not the grappler this guy is, and Charles is just a sharper puncher at this point in his career, and that was easy pickings. But anyway, didn't take a lot of damage in that fight, so it's been more or less 8 months since the bad knockout. I still worry about it a little bit at this age because he hasn't been put out like that, but he's been stopped a couple of times. And Max has been on a roll. He's making better defensive decisions. I think Max figures it out here, man. I think Max could probably stop him with a body shot or with a spinning back kick because he's been loading that up into his arsenal as well. And Charles Oliveira doesn't move his head as much as you like to.
This is one of these fights. No lie, I'm curious what you guys think. Leave a comment or two down in the section. I don't want to say it feels like it's gonna be a one-sided fight. I know it's not going to be a one-sided fight, but I know at least the way I broke it down, it kind of feels like it's going to be one-sided. But, I mean, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe you're missing something. I'll be definitely down to be clued in. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we're missing something. I don't know.
Here's what I say. There's only one way it's one-sided, and it's on the Max side. I think unless Charles meme knocks him out, which can happen, or subs him, it's going to be close or Max beating. That's like whooping his ass. I think that's the only way it goes. That's my read on it. And that's why I got to lean Holloway here.
I'm with you there.
I think Holloway stops him probably mid to late rounds, which is why I like the unders. I like the fight doesn't go. Fight doesn't go is probably going to be insane. If it's a low under, like if it's like a 1.5, I think the over is something to look at. But I think Max and him are going to respect each other, and they're going to kind of Max is going to use his feet to get out the way, and then Max will cumulatively beat him down to the body and to the face and then stop him probably second, third round, I would say. But if it's like a high over-under, I suspect they're going to set it at 2.5 for some reason. I think that's probably the appropriate place. But if it's anything higher than that, you take the under. If it's anything lower than that, you take the over. I think it's going to be somewhere in there, but we'll see how we play close to the fight time. Max Holloway's the lead. I expect him to retain, possibly get in line for another shot at the title against Ilya if they permit it. He has been surging at this weight class, and if he stops Gaethje and Charles, and Gaethje's in line for a belt, which makes his win look even better, I suspect he probably gets a rematch. And I would demand it too, because once again, I know Ilya did knock him out, is the only guy to spark him. But at the end of the day, he was depleting his body after putting on the lean muscle mass. I think Max is better at this weight class. And I think Max was winning the fight until he wasn't, right? And you could equate his chin being compromised to the weight cut. So
yeah, I wouldn't say he was winning, but I mean, it was competitive.
He was winning. Yeah, I mean, I just watch it. I'm not making this up.
I mean, I was watching. I don't know, but
Yeah.
hey,
He was winning the fight. I thought he was winning the fight.
Tobias is a bad motherfucker.
The fight the round that he lost was the round where he clipped him, and that's it.
Yeah,
and I think that was the third. So
I hear you.
Nah, I mean, he was winning the fight.
No, I hear you.
So just watch it. I thought he won the first 2 rounds.
Maybe I'm bugging. I don't know.
But
Again, a goldfish memory.
Nah, it's just me. But give me Max Holloway, ITD here. The unders, violence, fight doesn't go. That's where I'm at with this fight. Give me Max Holloway. Bless his back, and the best is blessed at the BMF stage of his career. Max Holloway for the lean. Follow us on all social media platforms to see how we play it.
And that does it for UFC 326, moving right along to the sweet science. And like I said, we're a little light on the boxing side, but it's a banger. The one fight we will be covering, and it's going to be a Zuffa boxing fight for the Ring Magazine and the IBF World Cruiserweight titles. We have Jai Opetaia going one-on-one with Brandon Glanton. Opetaia, perfect. 29-0, fighting out of New South Wales, Australia, repping Australia, 30 years old, bulletproof. Brandon Glanton is 21-3 overall. The challenger is fighting out of Riverside, California, 34 years old.
Yeah, so this is the easiest fight to break down, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Opetaia is a humongous favorite, and rightfully so. Glanton's taking this fight on short notice. I would have loved to see Opetaia put the beats on Noel, the dark horse, who I think is a complete fraud at this cruiserweight division. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think he's any good. I picked Badu Jack to beat him both times. I was right 1-on-1. Okay, credit to him. He did his thing the second fight, but I think it's more because Badu kind of fell off a cliff with his cardio.
Badu's hella old too,
42 years old, but
shout out to Badu.
Shout out to Badu, one of my favorite fighters to watch. But this is a guy in Jai Opetaia that is electric. He is super athletic, super explosive when he throws his punches, only getting better every time I see him. Knocked out his last opponent. That guy is a very, very awkward fighter, never been defeated. He was 40 years of age, but he had a ton of ring experience and did have decent head movement, and Jai was able to figure him out within 8 rounds. This is a guy in Glanton who, respect to him, never been stopped. 34 years old. He's going to be at a size disadvantage in this fight, but Glanton, even though he's never been stopped, has been dropped in several fights that I've watched and or wobbled and hurt by guys who are less explosive, that cover less ground. Went to war with CBS. CBS was able to get his flat-footed ass on a bike and use his feet to dominate the second half of that fight. I don't suspect Opetaia is going to need to the second half of the fight to figure him out and use his feet and use dynamic defensive movements as well as effective counterpunching to land on Glanton. Glanton's only way to win this fight is how he's won the rest of his fights. Get on the inside, make it dirty. The problem is this is the most light-footed fighter he has fought, and I have a hard time believing he is going to corner Opetaia, even though, if I'm correct, the Zuffa boxing ring is a little smaller, which makes this fight interesting, but also tells me that Opetaia is going to feel the need to pressure him, which he does, and uses effective feints to land damage on his opponents. I suspect he will follow a similar suit, land on the Glanton, who is a late replacement opponent, not necessarily ready for this challenge. I expect Opetaia to be the first guy to stop Glanton. Give me Opetaia. I'll say early to mid rounds, because I've seen Glanton get hurt early and I've seen him get hurt late. But I just don't suspect that Opetaia is going to play with his food. I think Opetaia is going to handle business and do what he's got to do against a short notice opponent, of which he is going to be much faster than and much more dynamic than. Give me Opetaia via knockout, I'll say early to mid rounds.
And that does it for our UFC coverage. That does it for our boxing coverage. That does it for our episode 132 is in the books. My brother, with no further ado, please take us home.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast. Like always, you can catch the main podcast on YouTube and coming soon on Twitch and Kick. You can catch us live there. But like always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and iHeartRadio, you already know. Love you guys. Tune in for episode 133 next week. Another good fight card. Not as big as this one in terms of name value, but a banger of Vallejos and Emmett. Great fight, to be frank, with that main event. I'm not sure about the boxing. We'll get to it next week when we get there. But until then, love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Wait for the tune-ins and wait for the live stream that's coming to you guys soon. We are working diligently to get it prepared. We had a few setbacks, obviously, this year with some of the family issues that we had. We were supposed to have it up for you guys already. We apologize, but it will be coming soon. Love you guys. Episode 132 in the books. Episode 133 next week. Don't be weak. Show up. Show love. Subscribe. It doesn't hurt to show love. Everything is free, and if it's free, it's for me, which means it's also for you. Love you guys. Holla at you guys. See you next week. Peace. Later. One.